questions, I would be happy to answer them. I know everybody gets a little shy at this point in the program. Yes.
Why do we not bring out the point that Republicans always propose to increase veterans' care,
Yeah,
and then they turn around and refuse to fund it?
absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but the American people are missing the boat on this whole issue. And I don't hear anything ever being said about ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Commission. And basically, if you don't know what ALEC is, it's secret meetings with businesses, special interests, closed meetings that no press is allowed or anything. They decide what they're going to do before they even come back and do it. It may be legal, because I've talked with Young about this Citizens United deal, and his response was that it was legal. And I turned around and I said, well, slavery was legal at one time. Women couldn't vote at one time. That was all legal. Right. The question is it right? Yeah. And he fell right back into, Karen was with me. Yeah. He fell right back into, well, it's legal, that's the law of the land.
Absolutely. Well, you know, as a lawmaker, just saying something's legal is not a satisfactory answer, because you have the power to change the law as a lawmaker. You have the power to change federal law, and that's exactly what we need to do. We need comprehensive campaign finance law. We are definitely holding the Republicans and David Young accountable for obviously saying one thing and doing another on veterans issues. There was just an interview aired this morning that I did with KCCI. I talked about this point. You know, Donald Trump's once again doubled down on his attacks against, you know, John McCain's military service, against, you know, prisoner of war. And the Republicans go out there and they say, you know, we support veterans, yet they don't fully fund the VA. And David Young recently just co-sponsored a legislation that would make cuts to the post 9/11 GI Bill. So, you know, I am happy to have this debate on veterans issues, on national security, on foreign policy. And, you know, I think that there's a really good chance that that's what Republicans are going to try to make this election about, because every other issue is a loser for them. When we talk about economic inequality, when we talk about equality, when we talk about raising the minimum wage, all these other important issues, they know they're losers for them. And so President Obama had a meeting a couple months ago where he called Democratic leaders from the House and Senate, and he said his #1 concern for the 2016 election was national security and foreign policy, is that he believed that Republicans are going to try to go on the offensive, they're going to try to scare people, which is what they always do, and tell people that they should be afraid and that they should trust Republicans on that front. Well, that's what they've done in the past, and unfortunately it's worked, even though it's wrong. But that's why I think it's so important that we are on the offensive on these issues. My entire career has been in national security and foreign policy. I welcome that debate with someone like David Young, who has absolutely no experience in national security and foreign policy, and that's, I think, a debate that I will win. We need smart and strong national security, and what the Republicans are offering right now, I think what we're all seeing, is reckless. It's reckless bluster that has no comprehensive strategy and no path forward for the global community. And so I welcome that debate, and these are the types of debate that we're going to see in the fall, and it's a debate that we need to win, and I think it's something we should be really concerned about and on the offensive about as well.
And I think one of the reasons there's such a pay inequality, there needs to be a law passed, because really we're all supposed to have this freedom of speech, and if your employer is giving you such a good deal, he shouldn't mind you talking about how much you make. Yeah. Because that's where, right, sitting at the break table or whatever, that's where you'll find out the pay isn't equal and something needs to be done about it.
Exactly.
Right now they can fire you for talking about how much you make.
Yes.
I would like to hear the Democrats, more of the established Democrats, come out and really praise Bernie Sanders for not taking any corporation super PAC money, and I haven't been hearing it, and I just can't believe that they haven't, because he is showing people it can be done, and he is, in, as far as I'm concerned, you take the super PAC money, you're corrupt. That's
well, we absolutely need, that's why we need this comprehensive campaign finance reform, because of the these rules that we're seeing right now.
But why can't the Democratic established people come out and say, great, Bernie, you're not taking the money
Yeah.
from, and none of them had hardly any of them, and
Yeah.
I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, well, I think, when you look at the president's campaign, his previous 2 campaigns, he didn't take that money as well, and so I think that that's, something that could be pointed out. That being said, I think it's very difficult to just completely say that Democrats, we want to change campaign finance rules, but we have to we have to play by the rules as they are today, even if we don't agree with those rules. And so we need to work towards that. But I think, trying to say that, Democrats should isolate ourselves too much and not, play.
Then come out and say that.
Yeah.
Bernie, you're doing great, I wish we could do that, but
Yeah.
they don't say that either.
Sure. But I mean, obviously the president has said, obviously he wants campaign finance reform. We all don't like super PACs, but the president's campaign in 2012 did have a super PAC as
And
well.
Kevin hasn't brought it up either, but the water quality issue is so important.
Absolutely.
And for the people in our rural areas not to stand up and back Bill Snow is wrong, because they're only hurting themselves. Because it's only gonna get worse, it's not gonna get better. And I say, I'm with the small farmers all that I can, but they're the ones that are caught between a rock and a hard place
Yeah.
if they don't start standing
Absolutely,
up.
absolutely. Well, exactly. I think that's absolutely right. I don't want to go over time, but I think, the farmers that I know absolutely want to do the right things. And the next Congress is going to have an opportunity to produce the next 5-year farm bill. And within that farm bill is something I was just talking to Senator Harkin about on Friday, is that within that farm bill is where we can really couch the additional resources to help bring us forward on the water quality issue. So thank you very much, everyone.